insane. All right. So anyway, we're doing this presentation. This is Arnel Ortega. I'm here from the How to Manage a Small Law Firm team. We're here to kind of go over some of the things that we see a lot of issues with our members. I've been with How to Manage for about 5 years now. I've been one of the CEOs as well as part of the Small Law Firm University now, and as well as a lead CEO. So, I've been here a while and I've seen great success with a lot of our firms. One of the things that we see from newer firms coming in, and a lot of reason why firms are actually join How to Manage a Small Law Firm, is because of the issues that we find with firms with growth, right? Cash flow is a big thing, right? I mean, this is how we continue to make sure that we're paying our rent, we're paying our staff, we're having the money to do our marketing, right, and continue to move forward. And of course, in the end, paying ourselves, right, the owner, and being sure that you're getting the return on your investment for your firm, right? Your firm is your business, it's your mule, it's there to support you, not the other way around, which tends to happen, right? So let's get started, right? The agenda today is going to be, one is about the mindset of money, right? What is money actually, right? Second, we're going to move into the cash infusion toolbox on how do we bring in money quickly, right? How do we bring it in when we're in need of paying our rent, when we have payroll coming up and we don't have the cash in the operating account? What are we going to do? We're going to give you the different tools that you can use to try to bring in that money quickly. Third thing is we're going to talk about the, kind of the workshop, right? What we're actually doing for the offer here is really about the boot camp that we're offering to prospects, basically, to come and take a look at what HTM is about, right, and what you can learn. So it's an investment of a little bit of time, and you should be able to receive a lot of return on your investment by increased revenue, by being able to help fix your infrastructure and do some things like within the bootcamp time frame. And then finally, what is it that we're going to be able to do once you finish up the bootcamp, and where do you go from there, and so on, right? So let's get started. The mindset of money. Money is not currency, right? It's not the same thing as currency. The $100 bill in your pocket is just a piece of paper, right? If it was not going to be able to be used for anything, right? If it didn't have use value, it would be worth nothing, right? The words legal tender is what make it valuable. Real money is, as I said, use money, right? What can you do with that cash in your pocket? Can you buy things? Can you, buy food? What can you do with it, right? Real money is what value you can derive from something, right? You are made of money, and so am I. And the reason why I say that is because every human being has use value. You have the ability to do something or create something of value. Some people build things with their hands, right? Others solve problems with their minds. Both provide value, just differently. You have an abundant, replenishing, and never-ending supply of money because you have an abundant, replenishing, and never-ending supply of creativity, energy, and imagination to solve problems and help people figure out how to solve their problems, right? I'm also an attorney. And so one of the reasons why I became an attorney, and I'm sure many of you, is that you want to help others. And so because the world is full of opportunities and full of problems, right, there's never a shortage of money, right, or value that we can provide using our ability. And so therefore we can make money from that. Maybe you just don't know how to convert money into currency, right, which is, the cash, but that's another topic that we won't address here. So first, it's important to get your head straight about money, right? Embrace the idea that you make money by helping other people make your life better, right? Because a lot of times, we're taught through law school, right, that the idea of making money doesn't go along with our profession, right? What is our calling? But the fact is, if you think about it, the more people you help, the more money you make, right? And that's that. So if you focus in on helping more people, right? It will bring you the money that you need to give you the lifestyle that, frankly, you and your family deserve, right? You work hard for it. You went through law school. You sacrificed long hours, and you put yourself through a lot of pain and sacrifice. And so there's nothing wrong with you having the good things in life, right? It's not a bad thing. So if you embrace the idea of making money by helping other people, right, it won't seem such a terrible thing to say that I'm making money, right? Everyone in this world wants their life to be better in some way, shape, or form. And so what we're going to do is, our job as attorneys is to find those people whose lives we can make better, right? How can we help them? And so strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. You have that will, right? If you're here, you've started your firm, you're doing, kind of all those things to continue, right? And so not letting yourself get beaten down. Things get tough sometimes, right? I mean, that's what happens in business. But keeping your will strong and focused on your goals will get you through. And you're wrestling with your subconscious that wants to keep you safe, right? That's the problem with this, right? A lot of times we're our own worst enemy, right? We do things to sabotage ourselves. So the highest priorities, right, in making sure that we're bringing in the cash that we need, is we want to, as I said, it's a mindset thing, right? We want to be sure that we're getting our mind in the right place. But when you're not getting the results that you say you want in life, it's because of a couple of things. One, either that the things that you're doing or the things that you're not doing, right? And so things that you're not doing, right? Are we not marketing, right? We're a law firm, right? It's a business. A law firm is a business. All businesses have to have marketing, sales, production for people to turn around and produce the work that the things that we promise that we sell. We have to have a factory that of how things should be done and the people to make sure that it's being done, to run that factory. And then we also want to have a physical space. We want to have our office space, programs, software, different things that we have to continue to run that business, as well as financial control. So we know whether we're spending too much, or what are we doing financially. And then here, what's special about the law firm is that it's really dependent on you, right? You as the owner. And so what are you not doing? Are you not doing your marketing? Are you not working on your sales conversation to make sure that you're digging into the real root of the problems of that people have or the opportunities that they have? All right. What are you doing that you should stop doing? Are you working on files that don't have money and trust? Are you not holding your staff accountable to billing a minimum billable hour requirements? Are you not actually sending out the bill, right? How many times have you done work and not billed for months on the work that you've already completed? All right, for PI and contingency firms and flat fee cases, for PI firms, are you not getting your demands out timely? Right? If those demands don't go out, you're not going to get paid. On flat fee cases, are you letting the cases just roll on forever so that you're not actually finishing those cases and keeps it over your head? Right? So what things are you doing and not doing that are preventing you from moving forward and succeeding? When you don't have what you want, right, it's because something about having what you say you want scares you. For instance, if you want that fancy car, right, maybe you want that Lambo, right, or whatever you want, right, that fancy house, that boat, are you afraid that maybe if you get it, that you can't keep up the business and maybe you're going to lose it? Are you afraid of what other people are going to say, right, if they start seeing you with all these fancy things? Would you rather stay in your comfort zone than doing uncomfortable things? This is said, marketing, right? Calling people, doing some things that that may seem uncomfortable to you, holding your people accountable to getting the work done or the billable hours, or terminating people who aren't doing such a good job, right? And so you'd rather be liked than run a business. These are things that you need to do to succeed, Or is it really that it's just not a big enough priority for you, right? It's just like anything else. We only have a certain amount of time in our day. We all have the 168 hours every week, right? But what's the priority? And so you do things that are that are higher priority than lower priority. So the cash infusion toolbox, okay? When you're having a shortage of cash and you need to pay for your, as I said, payrolls coming up or rent or whatever it is, or just you need money to pay for your personal bills, right? What are we going to do, right? It's not that there's a shortage of money, right? There's actually an abundance of it. It's there for you to go and get, right? We're going to show you how to get those things. First of all, how many people owe you money, right? Your AR, your accounts receivable. Have you contacted those people to collect? Let's start off with your personal, right? First, people who owe you money, starting with family and friends. Make a list of everyone who owes you money, no matter if they owe you $1 or $10,000. Pick up the phone and ask them to pay you. Some will be easy, and some will include some negotiations. I understand this won't be easy and it might be uncomfortable, but this is what we need to do, right? As responsible business owners, as mature individuals, we have to have these conversations with people. So what will you say, right? I mean, really kind of a short and simple script is, hey, listen, I'm participating in a program to grow my business. And one of the things they've asked us to do is to call everyone who we have loaned money to, right? Us versus the statement of I, right? It kind of takes it away the personal, and to work out a plan on how we can get paid back. Are you in a position to maybe pay me back the $500 I loaned you, or should we work out a payment plan? Right? There's going to be a range of responses. Most will work out a plan, and some will even object. But give people the opportunity to complete their obligation and don't expect them not to honor the commitment. That's for your family and friends. Now, for clients that owe you money, and we all have clients that owe us money, and it doesn't matter if it's a year-old commitment or longer. You took time away from your family to help this person, right? And your loved ones or your friends. You took time away, and it's a matter of showing respect to your loved ones and your family to get compensated for the work that you've done for this person. Call the client and say, I was going through my financial records and we have an outstanding balance. I'm calling to see how we can have that taken care of. They're either going to say yes or give you a justification as to why they don't owe you the money. Be quick to offer terms. Right? Are you in a position to take care of this today? Or do you need to enter a payment plan? Don't be surprised. A lot of people will actually cover the debt using a credit card immediately, especially if it's a small amount. If not, enter into an agreed upon payment plan. It could be over 3 months or 6 months. Just get some money coming in. Send an email confirmation about the agreement and collect payments. Use a credit card for future payments, right? So get it set up so you have your future credit card payments. Also, you may have vendors or other people who owe you money. And again, that would be the same conversation. So the second thing is, who didn't hire you? Make a list of all of those prospective new clients who haven't come into the firm, right, who came to the firm, but haven't actually engaged your services, and follow up with them. Take 100% responsibility for them not hiring you, right? Maybe you didn't ask the right questions and dig into their kind of what's going on with them personally and how their issues are affecting them, or how will it affect them going forward, right? How is it going to change their lives if they actually get their goals, or what is the desire, right? Not just the kind of superficial thing, but how is it going to affect their family, their lives? What is it going to do for them, right? Maybe you forgot to do or say something. It's your job to sell your services, right? It's not their job to buy your services. We'll take the responsibility as a professionals in the relationship. This is important. Don't take it personally that they didn't hire. Right. I had we had a cash infusion challenge with one of the members, and I was just talking to him the other day, and he told me how his ego almost got in the way of making $5,000. He had helped this client, done a lot of great things for the client, and they, and so he thought he had a really good relationship with them. He found out later on that they tried to apply for something without using his services, and he was burned, right? I mean, he felt as if he was betrayed. And so he pretty much wrote the guy off. But during the cash infusion challenge, we told him, look, call people who didn't hire you or whatever it is, right? And so he called this person, and he didn't let his ego get in the way. Next thing you know, the guy he had applied for, put in an application for something, and it didn't get approved. So of course he starts talking to, the attorney, the member who called, and so he ended up hiring this attorney. If he didn't make that phone call, he wouldn't have been hired, right? And so we'd have lost that $5,000. How many people have you not followed up with, right? They spent the time, you spent the money and the time to get them into your office, whether it be through referral networking or whatever it is. They came into your office, they had a conversation with you, so they were interested enough, right? So they had either enough of a problem, enough of an issue, or enough of an opportunity that they wanted your help. They wanted somebody's help. And for whatever reason, it wasn't right for them at that time, right? Or maybe they were scared. So why not follow up with them? Follow up with them to see whether you can help them, to see whether they've actually solved their problem. If they did, okay, great. At least you know, right? You don't have to worry about calling them back again. Or if they didn't, maybe you can still help them, right? Maybe they're just afraid and they need that little bit of push. So, ask them. So, and I said, just tell them, is solving this problem still a priority for you? Yes, I hired so-and-so. Okay, how's that working out? Is there anything we did that we didn't do for you, right? Is there something that we could have done differently? And this will also help you make your sales conversation better, right? Again, it's not about becoming personal, but it's your business. So how can you make it better? Because hopefully later on, you won't be the one doing the sales. You won't be the one doing a lot of these things. And so therefore, this is a way for you to also, quality check even other people who are doing things for you. Or maybe the answer is no, it's no longer a priority. Okay, we're not, maybe they're not filing for divorce anymore. All right, great. I'm glad to hear that. And if there's anything you ever need, feel free to contact us, right? Or maybe the answer is my partner and I are able to figure out our differences. All right, beautiful, right? I mean, that's fantastic. They don't have a problem anymore. So wonderful, right? Or 3, the answer is yes, it's still a problem. It's been getting worse since we spoke. Would you please let me help you get started solving this problem, right? You can tell them, look, let me help you get started, please. In a few weeks, right, we'll teach you more sales techniques. But for now, just say those words. And then there you go. You just have yourself a new client, right? And, take advantage of it, right? And help them. See how you can help them. And if you go in with the focus of checking to see whether they've solved their issue or their problem, checking to see, right, how you can actually help them, that mindset shift alone takes out the fear of calling people, right? Instead of you thinking, oh, I'm calling to get business. No, you're really actually calling to see whether they've got problems, whether you can help them. And that business comes from helping them. So you're either right now full of cash because you've got a lot of work, or you're not, right? And you have spare time to make those additional phone calls. And we get into a little bit more when you actually have a lot of work and very little time. And so we'll kind of go through the, after this, we'll go through the priorities of as far as the highest priorities and so on and so forth, right? And the rules of profitability, we can go over that as well. But so number 3, right, to continue with this cash infusion toolbox, we want you to make gas calls. And the reason we call them gas calls is because, frankly, you're calling to give a shit about these people, right? You're calling to show them that you actually care, right? Take 100 former clients and demonstrate that, you care. Call them, right? See how they're doing. Give a shit about them as a person, We have a script and a whole training program to share with you about the gist of the gas calls. But basically, right, you say, hey, Bob, it's been about 3 months since we closed your case, and we'd like to check in with our clients around the 3-month mark to see how you're doing and what's going on, because we find that a lot of our clients around the 3-month mark are running into certain challenges that we can help with. By the way, there's no charge for this call. It's just us living up to our word that we care about you, right? Do you have a few minutes to talk? And so you're the one who's going to know whether, what is the normal issues that your clients face during this time frame, right? 6 months, 3 months, a year, whatever it is, right? But what we want to do is you want to try to set up a system where you're touching base with your clients about every 3 months, because that's enough to stay top of mind aware, to see if there's any issues. And you don't have to be doing this yourself, by the way, right? You can actually have your staff doing this, and their conversation can be more like, I'm calling from the law offices of so and so, and one of the things that we do as part of our, for our clients, is we call to see how they're doing, right, during certain times, that to be sure that if they have any questions or whatever else, we can help them with. All right. So walk them through the type of issues that your former clients experience. And so that way you can, during that time frame, during that 3-month mark, 6-month mark, whatever. And of course, depending on your area of practice, the issues and problems or opportunities will be different. The gas call worksheet that will give you examples of these kinds of questions and issues, right? All of them are positive focused questions, right? You're not trying to scare them, just trying to walk them through the questions, right? The things that you see and what they can prepare for. It's the first time that they probably had a problem that requires a lawyer, and so they don't know what comes next. But you do, right? You've got the experience, and you can help them with that. That's really your job, right? I mean, you're here to help them. So don't just help them with their immediate problem. Help them with problems that you see that are coming up in the future, or at least warn them, give them a heads up. You're in a better position to serve them as a trusted advisor and a guide, and know what comes next. They already know you, right? And they like you and they trust you, right? Assuming that you did a good job for them. And they're going to need your services again at some point, or will know someone who will need your services. So, we have different, even this, right? We have a workshop where we just do gas calls for 3 intensive days. It's like the sales laboratory. And we end up finding that when people do this, like the amount of business that they bring in is amazing, right? Is people are like, oh, you know what? I was just thinking about you. I meant to call you, right? So either way, right? Call and give a shit about them, right? If you really like your clients and you care about them, this should not be a difficult thing. It's just not a normal thing that lawyers do. The biggest complaint that we get, right, that we know that lawyers get, is not being responsive, right? Clients will complain and file a bar complaint about the lawyer not responding to them or not communicating with them, right? You, on the other hand, will be reaching out proactively to see how they're doing. Okay, number 4, right, as part of the Cash Infusion Toolbox, reprioritize the work and process. All right, work that's 10 steps away from being able to be done, complete it, and then you can bill and collect for it, right? And other work that's only 2 steps away, be sure that you get that done first, right? Get that done, bill and collect it. And then reprioritize your work so that you're spending time on the work that can actually be billed and collected sooner. If you've got money in trust, absolutely do that work first, right? Because it's already in hand. And again, this is part of the things that we talk about with the rules of profitability. Number 5, reach out and cultivate referral sources. Someone who's referred you business. Check in with them and ask them what's new, right? How are things going with them? How's business going with them? All right, you can say something like, a simple conversation is, I like to follow up with referral sources. How's your business? How's it going now? How did they do last year, especially during this COVID time frame, right? Everything's changed for everybody, right? How are you doing? What were your plans at the beginning of last year? Continue the conversation about their business and ask questions. Show them that you're actually interested, right? People love to talk about themselves. So listen. In the discussion, you'll find opportunities, ways to make referrals to them, and referrals that they'll make to you. So that's how to reinvigorate your referral network of referrals that you haven't connected with recently. Or say it's somebody you haven't talked to in a year or so, right? One of the ways that you can reach out is be like, hey, yeah, I was just thinking about you, and I have to apologize. I haven't had a chance. I haven't sent you any clients in a long time, and I want to change that. So, would you mind? Let's have a conversation. Kind of tell me about what you're doing now, who your best clients are, and let's see who I can start referring to you. And again, you're offering to refer cases to them, which they're going to be open to. They're going to want it, be willing to listen to you, have a conversation with you, and actually, kind of engage, right? And of course, by doing that, you expect that they're probably going to want to return a favor and give you business as well. So, bar rules prohibit us from calling prospective clients, right? But you can absolutely reach out to prospective new referral sources, right, by going after them and teaching them kind of like they're preparing for their future needs or current or prospective clients by creating a referral network of non-attorney professionals and other businesses, right? So these aren't people that you are actually looking to get work from. It's people who you are looking to give work to, right? Referrals to, right? So you can connect with people who may have similar clients as you, right? But you're not reaching out to try to get work from them. You're trying to give them other referrals that maybe your clients can, are going to want and need, right? So you providing that service to your clients by being able to give them referrals will also help you, because you're also going to give those referrals to those people, to those professionals, who will then in turn give referrals to you. So determine the types of professionals your clients will need. For example, a real estate broker, right? You'll have conversations with professionals who are not lawyers about future client needs for their services. Whenever possible, you'll want to meet in their office or their home turf. And so that way you can actually check out their office, right? Check out their office, check out their staff to see how professional they are. And so that way you don't look bad in front of your clients, or you're giving a referral to somebody that frankly is not who you would actually go to, right? And so you can introduce yourself by simply saying, hey, my name is, Arnel Ortega, and my law office is such and such, right? And so from time to time, my clients need services of a real estate broker, and I was wondering if you'd be interested in a referral relationship, right? They're going to say yes. Then on behalf of your clients, right, you can go one step further. So I know this is unusual, but I really take it seriously to protect my clients. I take my reputation seriously. I'd like to conduct some due diligence with you. Would that be okay? And if they're interested in business, they're going to say yes. If they don't, then okay, move on to somebody else, right? So go with your due diligence list, right? What would you like to know? Are they licensed? Are they properly insured? Right? Do they have appropriate insurance for their business? Yeah, they have a couple of references that you can check. Now you can tell your clients that you vetted the referral, but you'll also demonstrate to the new referral that you're a professional. This is how you cultivate referral sources. 6, you want to revisit your fee structure. When's the last time that you thought about why you charge what you charge for what you do? Most people said it because that's what others charge. Kind of just seeing what the market is. Those people never take the responsible process of clearly thinking through their fees, right? And so that's normal when you're starting, right? A lot of people do that, right? But when have you actually thought through, right? How much does it cost you? What are the costs of goods sold? How much does it cost you to produce that particular service that you're producing? Right? We have a process here that we call SKUs, right? Stock keeping units, and we help you figure out what your cost of goods sold is for the work that you do. Did you adapt their reckless irresponsibility, right? I mean, you basically just say, okay, well, this is what everyone else is charging, so this is what I'm going to charge, right? And so a lot of lawyers put their fees somewhere in the middle of everyone else's, right? When's the last time you adjusted your fees? If you raise your fees by only $25 an hour, right, and even if you lose 10% of your clients, you're going to come out ahead, right? And so, revisit those fees. That'll actually help you with your profitability. And then number 7 is, how else can you add value, right? For estate planning, right? Can you sell an estate planning package and then add the value by offering funding for your clients, right? Because you know that you prepare a trust and it's a piece of paper and it's useless unless they actually fund that trust, right? And so do you go past the the initial thing of just creating the piece of paper and then making sure that that it's funded, right? And so that way it's actually means something. For criminal cases, right, you could come back and offer to expunge your former client's record, which in the end they want to do, right? Because they want to get it off their kind of off the radar, right? They want to be sure that it's hidden, it's expunged or sealed or whatever. Think about what you could offer that no other attorney is offering to set you apart, right? Maybe if you're a bankruptcy lawyer, maybe you can help them rebuild their credit, right? So just additional services that you can do to add value. And so I think this is a good time to discuss the rules of profitability, right? And so we say it's our rules, right? RULES, and we spell it out as R is for rates, right? We just talked about that. Increasing your rates will increase your profitability with doing nothing else. And when I say increasing your rates, it's not just about increasing hourly rates, right? But maybe if you're doing, even if you're doing average, even if you keep your hourly rates the same, or maybe you're doing a contingency fee or whatever, right? Are you doing or are following an aggressive, let's say if you're doing litigation, aggressive litigation workflow? And the reason I ask that is if you can increase the average case value of your cases simply by doing that, right? You can increase it by knowing if you're doing family law, if you're doing divorce or whatever, or any sort of litigation, that if you're on top of your timelines and you're making sure that when you're sending out your complaint or your answer, that you're sending out your discovery request, and within 30 days from that, or whatever time frame your jurisdiction allows you, right? Let's say it's 30 days. On the 31st day, you're sending out or you're creating a motion to compel, right? And you're pushing. And so if the other side, of course, contacts you and says, hey, you know what, we'd like an extension. Sure, we'll give you an extension, whatever, 7 days, 10 days. And assuming we don't, that we receive a satisfactory responses, right? Then we'll pull it off the hearing docket. Otherwise, it's going to stay on, right? And so you move forward and you create an aggressive workflow, and you stay on top of them. If they are not responding to you're trying to file set up depositions, make sure you're setting those depositions up and push them, right? And if they're not, if they're pushing it off, then you need to file a motion to compel, right? And so you're doing things that are you're not doing anything like that is not ethical, right? You're actually being ethical and you're following it, and you're doing an aggressive, you're being an advocate for your clients, and you're just holding the other side to what they're supposed to be doing, right? So increasing the average case value, increasing your rates, right, through either hourly or average case values. Then U is for utilizing, right? Utilizing staff. Are you pushing or delegating the work down to the lowest paid competent positions? Right? And this is important because, for instance, if you're a solo and you're answering your own phones, then basically you're dropping your hourly rate from $400, $500 or whatever else it is to being paid, $15 an hour, or what you can pay someone else $15 an hour to do. Or even you turn around and go get yourself a virtual answering service and they can pick up the phone for you, right? But every time you pick up that phone and you don't know who it is, and you get some solicitations or clients who are contacting you that you shouldn't be talking to, or that you're in the middle of other things, you're interrupting your work. And every time you do that, you're losing tons and tons of time, and you're not going to get your production work done that you need to get done. So you want to utilize your staff to the best way possible. There are only 4 things, right, that an attorney needs to do. One is, of course, give legal advice. Right? No one else can do that other than an attorney. Second thing is sign legal documents. The third thing is going to legal proceedings, whether it be trial or court or mediations or arbitrations, whatever, right? And that's pretty much it. That's all you need a law license to do. Oh, and the fourth thing is oversee your staff. So if you've got a really good paralegal, experienced paralegal, or even legal assistants for things that you don't really need any legal knowledge for, right? And so that's the difference. You want a paralegal for somebody with some sort of legal knowledge, right? Some sort of specialized legal knowledge. So maybe they, they can understand more. Versus a legal assistant who doesn't need to have any specialized legal knowledge, right? They can do the scanning, the faxing, mailing. I mean, actually, if you've got a good system, they can potentially do like a good software system. You can potentially just be good at being a data entry person, right? If they're detail oriented, but they don't have any legal knowledge, so be it, right? I mean, we can use a legal assistant for that. But you want to delegate it down to the lowest paid competent position. Some people was like, well, I can't have a paralegal do motions or whatever. Sure, you can. If you've got good templates and forms and examples, they don't have to do 100% of it. They can do 50, 60%, right? The basic things that you already have down, they can fill the information out. And then, even if they're doing like a good one, like I said, 70, 80%, but that takes away 50 to 80% of the work that needs to be done. And, you would only have to do the remainder, whether it be 50%, 20%, whatever. It saves you a ton of time. And it's not as if you're actually going to lose. And we hear this a lot too. The question is, well, if I delegate it to paralegals at a lower hourly rate, don't I lose money because I lose the hourly billable rate of an attorney? And the answer is no, because you're not actually replacing that work, right? You're adding to it, because the attorney is still going to do attorney work, and they're going to still bill. If they're billing, 6 hours a day billable time, they're going to still bill 6 hours a day of billable time. You're just going to add the remainder of the work to the paralegal. And so you add an additional, 6 hours a day or 5 hours a day of paralegal billable time. And for you, that allows you, like if it's still just you and you don't have any support, that allows you, by having your paralegal do that, take that 50% of the time and go out and do some marketing and bring in more business to continue to feed the law firm. So that's how we utilize, right, staff. L is for leveraging. We want to leverage systems. We want to have good software system, right? And so let's say if you're doing estate planning or whatever, right, have a good software program that a legal assistant can fill in the information and be able to produce some a will for you, or the majority of a trust for you that you then can oversee and make sure it's right. We want to have, if it's not a software system, maybe you need to use written systems, documented systems, right? We want to have policies on why we do what we do, step-by-step procedures on how we do what we do, right? If you have to have it videotape yourself, use Zoom to open up a screen share, use your computer, fill out the form of the computer or whatever it is that you're doing. And so that way you can actually teach whoever it is that you're going to have help you, some staff person, to do what you're doing, and they'll be able to see it. And then you want to have written, documented procedures so they can follow it. So we have policies, we have procedures. Then we have forms and templates, right? We want to have forms and templates that you can actually use. And so they can just fill in the information, which will make it easier for them. And you already have, like, if you already have the legal, the case law and everything else in there, the laws, then all you have to do is fill in the particular facts of the case. And then, of course, the key thing is, what we want to do is give them examples. What is it supposed to look like? What does success look like? And you want to have those examples so that they're actually searchable, and searchable by topics, right? Depending on the particular issue that you have. If you've been doing your particular area long enough, right, the majority of the things that you come across, right, and so as long as you have them searchable, and people and your staff can search them and pull them up, you have all the examples there. And then the last thing, to be sure that things aren't falling through the cracks and that you're able to check it, right, oversee them, you need checklists on what is it that they're supposed to be doing, what to watch out for, right? Make them double check things, right? If you're filling out a form, make sure that they're double checking the name spelled right. Make sure the dates are correct, right? Make sure that they're going through that and following it. And so things that you normally see, the issues are, they're double checking. And so this is where we talk about leveraging systems. And E is for expenses, right? As far as the rules, we went through rates, utilization, leveraging, and E is for expenses. You want to keep your static expenses low, right? Meaning your office expenses, things that don't really make you money. They don't make you money unless you were working with some, kind of top CEOs from these huge firms or companies that expect you to have a conference room overseeing the water, right, in a penthouse suite. You don't really need that, right? Make it easy for your staff, for your clients, right? Save your money, make it easy for them, make it accessible. So save your money on static expenses, things that don't make money. But absolutely, you must invest in dynamic expenses. And dynamic expenses are things that make you money. And I mentioned it before, right? You need to invest in staff, production staff, so that way they can do the work, a majority of the work, while you're able to free up your time and go out and do marketing and sales and a lot of, the highest priorities, which I'll go over next. So you want to invest in dynamic expenses. And as I said, staff is one of them. Marketing is another thing, right? You want to spend time and money doing marketing. And it doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to go do a bunch of PPC or Google ads, right? But there's other things that you can do, right? Maybe even if it's just get on Google Maps, focus on doing networking, right? I mean, you want to invest either time or money into these things. The other thing is intake staff, intake and sales. You want to invest in a good intake person who's going to be able to bring your PNCs into the office or schedule sales consultations. So this is about, as I said, E is for expenses, right? And so you don't want to choke your firm by not investing in dynamic expenses. And then S is for speed. Speed of collections, right? Do you have the money and trust? If you have the money and trust, then you know that you can make money for what you do, right? You build the work, it's there, you pull the money out from trust. Also, speed of collections comes down to, are you billing, right? Are you billing every other week to be sure that your cash flow is going, right? And again, this is part of the whole cash flow infusion, right? Make sure that you're going to prevent cash crunches going forward, right? Is make sure that you're billing consistently every 2 weeks. Actually, if you can bill every week, then bill every week, right? All you got to do is change your retainer agreement to read periodic billing versus once a month billing or whatever it is that you may have in there. So that way you can decide when you're going to bill. It's just a matter of, when you do it. And are you holding your people, your staff and your people accountable to billing or recording their time contemporaneously? Because if they're not recording their time contemporaneously, or if you're not recording your time at the same time, then you're losing your time, right? It's difficult to remember what you actually did. So have that timer going, make sure that they're recording it contemporaneously so you're not losing money. So that was for speed of collections, right? But for firms that don't bill, right? When we're talking about PI firms or even flat fee firms, your collections comes down to production, speed of production, right? Are you getting those demands out quickly? Do you have people following up with the medical records, right? Chasing after medical records, getting that done. Within a week of getting those medical records, right? Are your paralegals drafting the complaints, right? Or the demands, really, the demands out to the insurance companies, right? Is that getting done? Because right? Let's say out of every 10 that you send out, 5 of them or 50% of them will settle. And so you can pretty much project that money going forward for the next, 2 months or something. You should be able to get that money in. And then the other 25% say settle in 3 more months later. And then the last 25%, maybe they settle or they go to trial or whatever it is, right? But based on your historical data on what these things do. But speed of production and getting those demands out will help you bring in that money. And the same thing for flat fee firms, right? The faster you can get that case done rather than sitting around and wasting time, the more profitable you'll be. Because you get paid the same amount, right? So the faster you can get that work done and by the lowest paid competent person to get it done, the more profit you'll make. So those are the rules of profitability. Now, when I was saying about highest uses of your time, right? The highest uses of your time as the owner is one, making sure sales is happening, right? Your sales are happening. Because if you don't change anything else, if you don't change your marketing, you don't change anything else, but you just increase your sales conversion by a little bit, one new case, two new cases, whatever else it is, a week, a month, you bring in more money, you bring in more revenue, right? So highest and best use of your time is right now, unless somebody else is doing it, but even then, it's always sales. Second thing is marketing, right? Are you doing those gas calls? Are you networking? Are you following up, right? It's not just enough to go to a networking event. Are you actually following up and building a relationship, right? Because, if you've ever gone to one of those events and people are passing out their cards, I don't know about you, but after a while you forget whose card was what, and you don't really remember, and so you throw them out. Same thing is happening to your card. People aren't really remembering you unless you're building up a relationship with them, unless you're meeting with them and constantly following up, right? And so you need to be sure that you're doing that marketing, or putting out content information to get you seen, right? And that's free too, right? You put out you can, these days with cameras, everybody can do videos, right? You can turn around and put a video on YouTube, on Instagram, whatever it is, right? People are using social media. So marketing is your second highest priority. The third highest priority is making sure the firm's getting paid, right? Are you getting the money in trust? Are you making sure that the bills are going out, right? You're making sure that all these things, that the firm is getting paid. If you're doing that, right, if you're doing your sales, you're doing your marketing, and you're making sure the firm's getting paid, it'll help prevent you from getting into a cash crunch, and it'll keep the cash flow moving. The fourth priority is making sure that the production is being done by other people. And again, the reason I say that is if your average case value, say $5,000 or $10,000, or even if it's $2,500, right? If you spend an hour doing some marketing and getting a case like that, it's a whole lot higher use of your time than even if you're working and billing at $400, $500 an hour, right? You working at $400 or $500 an hour versus going and spending that hour and getting a $2,500, $5,000 or $10,000 case or more is a higher use of your time. And then you can turn around and pay for an attorney to do the work for your paralegal. The other thing to be able to think about is you can use, and we do it all the time, right? I mean, there's freelance paralegals that we use, there's contract attorneys that we can use. Instead of you going to court, especially if you have to go to like criminal court or something, where a lot of times, or even civil court, where they're just check-ins, right? Before, right? Maybe it's different now with Zoom, but status conferences, soundings, things like that, right? Where you just have an attorney has to show up or arraignments, whatever it is. You don't need to be there, right? You can send a contract court attorney to do that for you, and you pay them whatever, $100, instead of you spending 3 hours, an hour going there, or half an hour going there, finding parking, an hour sitting around, 2 hours sitting around, an hour coming back. So a huge waste of your time. So delegate it down to the lowest paid competent person or position. So that's the fourth thing. And then the lowest priority, the fifth priority, the lowest priority for you is you doing the work yourself. As I said, there's higher uses of your time by going out and doing your marketing and sales. All right. So ideas to continue bringing in money from outside the firm. All right. Maybe you can be do an expert consultation. Maybe you can help pick a jury, right? Sell a workshop. If you need to, pawn something. Sell an important asset, rent out an asset, right? Offer a new service. Again, that's the other thing, right? During the pandemic, we saw a lot of shutdowns, right? Or the police weren't arresting, or things weren't being done. So people lost the normal kind of influx of cases from this particular area. So you have to find a new service, right? Something that you need to kind of weather the storm. So you don't have to stick to legal services, right? Find different things that you can sell. What it comes down to is, if you think about it, you're helping your clients solve problems. And not all problems have to do with just legal problems, right? And so if there's something, you have certain skills that you can do to help with, then help. Teach a class, right? I mean, do something. You'll find other opportunities around this, and it'll be fun, right? And again, in conclusion, thank you for listening, and I apologize again for the issue with the technical issues. But remember, your actions will lead to results, right? If things aren't moving, right, you're not bringing in the cash, then you need to shake it up and do some things. Take some action. So the boot camp is a perfect opportunity to get started, right? It's a perfect get started program for attorneys who've never addressed their infrastructure. Addressing these areas of the business will provide immediate value for you, right? It's free. The bootcamp is free. We just ask that for a seat deposit for the 5th and final live session, right? And the time commitment is minimal. As I said, the amount of value, if you play all in and actually take action, and we're not Netflix and chill, right? You're not just going to sit there and listen and not do anything. If you don't do anything, then you're not going to get anything, right? You want to go and take and listen, take some nuggets out of it, and implement immediately and make some changes. You're going to get a bigger ROI if you turn around and than what you're actually going to put in. And so now's the time. Go down to the bottom of the page that you're at, and sign up. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed got some value from this presentation, and I wish you all the best.